Welcome back, my lovely students, grade 1 and grade 2, my junior scientists in the future, inshallah. I hope to continue with you the science lessons. We will continue by lesson 4 of chapter 4 of your skills handbook of the chapter. Today's lesson is about how do scientists find answers to questions. So, let's get started. But in the beginning, I want to remind you with the previous lessons about science skills. What does scientists do? Do you remember? Yes, you do. Excellent. So scientists can predict, follow scientific method. They can do also experiments. They can use tools, which was our previous lessons. Ask questions and follow rules, and one of the skills also is observation. I want also to remind you with some information about the scientists, and the goal of science is to understand what? To understand the world around us, to achieve the goal. So scientists, to achieve this goal, which is understanding the world around us, the scientists make observation and ask questions. Do you remember? Yes, my lovely students, yes. They devise ways to find the answer of these questions. Do you remember? They also gather evidence to support their findings and draw conclusions. So I want you to pay me your attention. I want to warm you up with this feedback about our previous lessons. Another point here, how do scientists find answers? This is our today's lesson. Scientists can make observations. They use the 5 senses to learn about the world around them. The scientists also can do experiments. The experiment is an investigation carried out under carefully controlled conditions. They also can wear tools. Do you remember the tools? Like gloves, like white coat, like goggles, and so on. The scientist might do an experiment to find out a new medicine, like we said about coronavirus. Nowadays, all of the world suffer from coronavirus. So the scientists make on this issue and do experiment to know more about the coronavirus and give us the medicine and to explore the medicine. They work hard to find out the medicine. So the coronavirus here is about unknown question, and they try to find out answer to produce a medicine for us to help the people who suffered from the coronavirus and already infected with the coronavirus. So scientists ask great questions. Scientists design experiment to find answer to their questions. Scientists record things that they see, hear, smell, or feel. This is called evidence. The evidence after they do the experiment and find out the answer. So scientists use evidence to make claims. Is it easy? Yes, I think. Okay, my lovely students, turning to another slide here, which
Scientists
is an
use
explanatory video about
to
scientific
find
methods.
answers. They ask questions. Do seeds need water to grow? What do you think? Make a hypothesis. Test your hypothesis. Use the same kinds of pots and soil. Water only 1 pot. Then observe. Think about what happened. Was your hypothesis supported or not supported?
So the video shows you here, we have 2 pots and we put soil inside the 2 pots and we put the seeds of growing plants here and water one of them. So the scientists first do hypothesis about the result, then they make observation. Without scientists and the hypothesis of the scientists and their observation, we didn't know that water can make the plant grow up. So all of us know that the water is very important for the plant to grow up. From where we can get this information? From the scientific methods that scientists first make hypotheses, then they observe to find out the result. So in the two pots here, one of them was water and the other one don't. So the one we put water inside, the seeds grow up and give us seedling like this. The other one, the seeds died and didn't grow up. So turning to another slide here, there are 6 scientific steps that scientists follow to make sure of their experiment and to think carefully about any unknown thing and the question as well. So the first scientific method here is asking a question. The second one is make hypothesis. When you ask about something like you can walk somewhere, you can find out anything that you strange. If you can ask about this. What is this? What if I do like so this is the hypothesis. Then after hypothesis you make a fair test. Then you do your test or experiment. Test here means experiment. Then you collect and record data about the experiment or test. Then you write down your conclusion. The conclusion here is about the answer of the observation and the hypothesis. Turning to this video.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Hampton from Rockrimmon Elementary. Today we're going to discuss tools a scientist uses, and specifically the tools a scientist would use to observe an aquarium ecosystem. If you were in charge of an aquarium for a week, would you know how to keep the fish and plants alive inside? What if they got too hot or too cold? How would you keep their water clean? It's important to know the tools to use to observe the aquarium ecosystem and the proper way to use those tools. Though a scientist uses many tools, often there are specific tools a scientist can use for a certain purpose. Today we're going to discuss some tools that might be used to observe an aquarium ecosystem. An ecosystem is a habitat in which living organisms depend on each other for survival. Inside an aquarium, the organisms could include fish, bacteria, snails, algae, and plants. All of the organisms play an important role in the ecosystem. To maintain a healthy aquarium, a scientist must use some tools. Can you think of any that might work? This hand lens or magnifying glass will help me to observe. We can look to see if the fish are swimming normally. Did all of the fish receive something to eat today? Do they look like they're getting along well? Or is there a tank bully that looks to be terrorizing the rest? Do the plants look healthy? And finally, does each fish look like it has its normal color? Or do any of them have blotches, white spots, or abnormal coloring? If so, this may be the sign of disease. Careful observation of the aquarium will help us determine its overall health. What will happen if the water temperature inside the aquarium becomes too hot, too cold? Even a small change in water temperature can affect the health of the life inside the tank. So we need to be sure to keep it at a steady temperature. What tool can help us with that? Right, a thermometer. Can you think of any other tool that we might use to keep the aquarium healthy? This net will help to clean out the tank of unwanted waste and debris. As we saw today, there are many types of tools that a scientist can use, and each one has a specific purpose. How do you use tools in your everyday life? For one day, write a list of the tools you use to help you. Maybe you use a scale to help weigh groceries at the store, or a timer to let you know when the food's ready, or when it's time to wake up. Do you use magnets to hold anything up, or a computer to help with homework assignments? How many tools can you think of that you use in one day? Until next time, I'll be seeing you.
Turning to the last part of our today's lesson, my lovely students, my junior scientists in the future, inshallah, I now want you to answer these questions, and we will work together to answer and find out the answering. So, how big around is the tree? Let us guess about the big of the tree, how big the tree is. Of course, we can use a meter to measure the width of the tree. So we can ask ourselves first, then make hypothesis, then make a test, then record the result and make our conclusion and write down the conclusion. So the first question is, how big around is the tree? Here you can try to find out answer to your question. You may use many tools to find out the best question. Then you record and make your conclusion and write down your answer. Here we go further. What will you do next? We have two pots here. What is the second? Guess what? What is the second step you will do next? Excellent. We can put the seeds inside the soil here. Then we water them. Then we will wait until they grow up. So the first thing we ask about the question, we make hypothesis, we do an experiment, we will record our result, we write down the conclusion and the answer of the question. That's why scientists can use experimental or scientific methods to find out answers of their questions. This will be the end of our today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed and understand each part of our lesson. See you again in more science lessons. Take care of yourself. Stay at home. See you again. Bye bye.